Unity Broadcasting.
Yes, sir.
Unity Broadcasting.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come. For developments now we come to you. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation Salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come. For developments now we come to you. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation Salon. We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform. Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but wetin dey happen? Political discussion. You for know about Salon politics. Religious messages, entertainment self no go left bien. We no go left nothing bien no.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come.
Developments now we come to you.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come.
Developments now we come to you.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon. This not the thing them where we dey talk about.
Sierra Leone political history.
Defeating the lives of fake people.
Waiting they be na social media.
One-on-one interview. We go bring you all the hot topics.
Unity Broadcasting TV say,
And we let myself and better Salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't
For
come.
developments now we come to you.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't
For
come.
developments now we come to you.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon.
You gon' get we live on Facebook, and now we.
All right. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, Sierra Leoneans, wherever una dey at this time. Today, na October 17, and a big Sunday. We tell Papa God thank you because he don't make we all don't see this day. Some Monday na mortuary, some Monday other side na jail. But we tell God thank you because we there and we don't able witness this great day. So today, like I tell una, me na Elizabeth Kefwe, Fabe Nilgembe, we get a very big and important hard topics where we dey talk about today. Especially na about we country, Sierra Leone. We all know Sierra Leone currently how things dey go. And who are the leader of that country where we call we beloved Sierra Leone? Now, His Excellency Julius Honi Madabio, na we leader. So we got a big question today. Is President Julius Madabio electable in the 2023 elections? We know say 2023 election just in at the corner. President Bio every 5 years, Sierra Leoneans, every president, then go either re-elect or we choose another leader. Based on that today, we dey come and discuss this all-important big topic. I want make una join the topic, una join the conversation. Everybody get rights to whatever we dey say. Naya, as long as you talk with respect, you comment on her with, dignity, not to disrespect who they can do Naya. We know they allow that in this medium, but we want for let everybody get in say. Based on that, we get plus 3464936503. The number then at the bottom of the screen where you can able for use for send you text message. We know they take calls right now. They take text messages where I go read inside the show. I get big allegiance then. I get somebody where they sympathize with the C4C, I get somebody where they sympathize with the APC, and I get somebody where they sympathize with the Sierra Leone People's Party. Then go come and introduce themselves, because we they go head to head today. Not so bad. When I mean head to head, we have to say the truth, and we have to sensitize people out there. Like I say, now a heated debate. We want for less Sierra Leoneans they know waiting they go on. Una share this live video. So me auntie where in a village, me uncle where they na the sub-region, the one where they na Freetown, the one where they Bondapi and Karina can able for listen and know waiting. They come up from the APC side. And me auntie where they na maybe Pujon districts go know waiting they come up from the LCPP side. And maybe the Kono districts they also go able know waiting the C4C they come in instant today. Follow we know whether President Julius Madabio is electable in the 2023 election. I tell una plenty thank you. As una de listen, una share, please. I want una share. Me na una host and presenter, Elizabeth Kefwe Fabe Nilgembe. This na Unity Broadcasting where they come to you live from Houston, Texas, and with the stream live na Facebook. Una continue for stay with we, like I say, me na una host and presenter, Elizabeth Kefwe Fabe Nilgembe. Now, without wasting more time, we get this hot debate. I they bring counsel una the gentlemen then way they introduce themselves, and we go keep the program state right there. Like I say, una share. Now we need forget people that inside this debate. We need forget people them let them give them comments then. We need for let people then know whether Julius Madabio he don't do something where he deserve a second term. Julius Madabio, it don't create an impact where then go get a whistle or then go get a red card. Julius Madabio, it deserve a green card or it deserve a yellow card. So now the three cards then where we they come and discuss today. Like I say, share to your friend, whisper to your friend, and we all come over and join the hot topics. Me, now una host and presenter, Elizabeth Kefwe Fabe Nilgembe. So now, like I tell una earlier on, I get with me the three gentlemen then where they inside the show. It's gonna be a heated one, respectable one, gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to the show. Can we all unmute ourselves, please, gentlemen? Pearl, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, Pete Thomas, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, and Imran Toure, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Sierra Leoneans, this now the three gentlemen that I get will be the try for get a gender balance. Unfortunately, the person in system is very day down. When I say system in internet, we're not able to get them. They come and go. And since now a very important show, we want to let people then really get the into of what we they say, like me uncle can say, will be the primary school into. Now we they come and discuss this all important show. Topic is President Julius Madabio electable in the 2023 general elections. If it is say yes, just give us a thumbs up. If it is say no, just give us a thumbs down. But like I said, the three big allegios then go come and discuss. I get with me number one on the top, Brother Pearl Chroma. Introduce yourself to Sierra Leoneans then, and you give them the probably the person or the political party where you they try for represents here.
Thank you very much, Miss Sister. I appreciate you so much, Madam Moderator. This now when I begin, we found them, Belkuroma, are in the United States. Moderator, I want to assure you, me not a sympathizer of SLPP. Me a full-fledged member of the Sierra Leone People's Party. Okay. We actually believe in the values and ideologies of the founders of the Sierra Leone People's Party. So I'm not just a sympathizer inside the Sierra Leone People's Party, and I believe in the leadership of His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Pearl Chroma. Sierra Leoneans done a Brother Pearl Chroma where, being a moderator, you know, go just point finger on somebody. You have to come out diplomatically, but I'm glad he himself get for clear the air that ain't not a sympathizer. So man can come, you know, you could talk saying a sympathizer, but he said he's a full-fledged member of the Sierra Leone People's Party. So that is Pearl Kroma, Sierra Leoneans there. Now, I go to the next person down to Pearl, brother. Yeah, introduce yourself to Sierra Leoneans then, please.
Hi, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, listeners and viewers. Mina P. Thomas. I want to make some corrections to start with, and I think I will make this very clear to you, Elizabeth, that I am not here to represent any political party, because I do not belong to any political party in Sierra Leone or anywhere else. I am here as an advocate, as an independent advocate for comment on national issues. So the notion of me being here as a sympathizer, I think you and I spoke about it, and I told you firsthand that I am not coming on the show for represent any political party, because I'm a neutralist, I'm an advocate. That means I speak good and bad where necessary. Okay. So I'm glad to be here today, and thanks for having me on the program.
All right, kudos. Pete Thomas for that beautiful introduction and clarification. So now we go to we brother Imran Toure, we go tell we a little bit about himself before we start the show proper.
Ambulem in a kushe in a cabo. I want to tell the host thank you for inviting me. And I want to tell the people and say me a member of the APC party, but I no come naya for can represent me political party, because I come as an independent person, and me views them all way at the make. Na me views them and are responsible for them, not the.
Go ahead.
So I go talk with understanding. Say I get a conscience, and my conscience now one part where I always put na the top shelf for me country. I so love me country, and I not like the way me country they go. This not a term for the pan party business, not a term for the pan gangster business, not a term for the pan society business. This not term for country. Thank you.
Okay, I tell you plenty. Thank you, brother Imran Toure, that the great man. As he just don't introduce himself. Sierra Leoneans, like I say, now we start the ball rolling. The question reads, is Julius Maada Bio electable in the 2023 general elections? Like I say, if it is, give us a thumbs up. And if you think he is not, we need to give him a red card. Give us a thumbs down. So now let me start with you, P. Thomas. That is the question. That is the big question we've asked. Sorry, Sierra Leoneans who go in and out, because, you know, where they deal with intellectuals, you get for go small English, even though we aim Nayana inside Creole, we they transmit, for that we get we last auntie and uncle, for that able understand we. But however, if by slip of tongue, English can inside place, when at the big una pardon. So, Brother P. Thomas, the question now reads, Naya, where we say, if Julius Maada Bio, the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, electable in the 2023 election, I want to give you overview.
Well, thanks for the question. I think say the first things first, we need to look at the mandate with Sierra Leoneans then give President Bio. The mandate for Sierra Leoneans then give President Bio now based on a manifesto way campaign on. And now that not the best way for measure whether Sierra Leoneans then will give him a second term or not. And the mandate we Sierra Leoneans then give President Bio now on key issues. Number one, he promised say he will get he will fight corruption. That's now one of one. He will clean up the system and stop the leakages. That's one of the things that we President Bio campaign on. Now we don't see say number one, you don't start the commission of inquiry, which don't come out very successfully. They don't investigate quite a lot strings of corruptions, incidences, corruption events which take place in the previous and it's by Kuruma government. And that commission of inquiry produced a white paper and makes series of recommendations, all of which President Bio adopt except one recommendation, which they say then for ban those found those corporate, those found guilty, then for ban them from public service. Now, President Bio decided that not the only recommendation I take on board. All the other recommendations he took on board, which is really good to see. But the downside to that is that even President Bio in government is not free of corruption. We don't see 49,000 bags of rice to Chinese people and donate. We come towards the free quality education. We go missing. We see a former minister of basic and higher secondary school education, Dr. Alpha Timbo. We then be suspended as a result, and then reinstate and back. And ACC investigates. We don't see a single person, not a single person that has been held accountable for the arrest, and they will go missing. With all the investigation where ACC do, not a single person was held responsible. Then we don't see series of other, alleged corruption events. We don't see allegations upon allegations through the Africanist press, Channel Bar and others. We don't look at issues for do with the Sierra Leone embassy in the US, where $2 million is in question how that was spent between this government and the previous government, and that has been investigated. We don't see Mamadi with in charge of the timber exports in Sierra Leone. He's been accused on several occasions and not done commodity. We don't see Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte, we have been the chairman for the there's a committee where they look after ensure transparency and accountability in a parliament, where he question the Minister of Information. We don't see them pull him commodity in that committee as chairman. He resigned, but then put him in the background. So we've seen series of alleged corruption cases that have gone quiet. They've gone mute. So I feel Sierra Leoneans, they not only get for look at routine President Bio don't deliver on the front of corruption, fighting corruption, but then they also examine in government, because if you fight corruption, you need to make sure you start from within. What has been done within to prevent corruption? And we don't see much of that at this stage. So that's number one. The second thing where President Bio promised that disciplinary government. A promise in government we will lead a disciplinary government. What in that mean? That is synonymous with the former president Anes Baikoroma in policy of attitudinal change. Attitudinal change policy was a disciplinary measure, a form of policy with the aim at ensuring that Sierra Leoneans, them within a public office, they serve diligently, they serve integrity, they serve with purpose. That is similar, that is synonymous with the disciplinary governments with President Bio promised. Now, we don't see, President Bio will start in presidency, in the visit you building early in the morning for make sure, people and ministers, they arrive on time, and we see all that happen. But what we didn't see happen is that when President Bio stopped for doing visit the day, as that continues, as ministers actually continue to start work on time and finish on time. So there's a lot of questions that have been asked. But what you mean to say is that in that light, President Bio don't really do well, in the sense that the people are more alert now, say, yes, if you're in a public office, people and they watch you and you will be prosecuted. There's a very good chance that you'll be prosecuted as opposed to being covered up. So in that light, I've seen a very big success for President Bio, where he don't ensure, in government of the day, actually attend to those issues and make sure, people own up to their responsibilities when they are appointed into certain positions or voted into certain positions. We don't see that discipline day in terms of the parliament. We haven't seen that. The parliament is a chaotic house at the moment. With parliament, we don't see parliamentarians and they fight each other in the world of parliament. We don't see the parliament, they don't accuse them of corruption as the third most corrupt institution of the country. We don't see the office of the president being a survey produced say na the second most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone. We don't see the police being identified as the most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone. So we need to look at all the parameters they have for assess President Bio. Now, President Bio don't promise free quality education in manifesto. During the election, he said he will pay school beginning fees from primary school to high school. He has delivered on that, not fully, but he has delivered on that, because free education, I wouldn't call it free quality education, but I'll call it free education at this stage. He don't deliver on that, and it's a huge success. No matter how you look at it, school picking, and most of the school picking in Sierra Leone, government schools are no longer paying fees. That don't reduce the stress on families and so on and so forth. So on that light, I believe President Bio has done incredibly well. There is still room for progress. There is still room for growth, but he's done incredibly well when it comes to free quality, free education for Sierra Leoneans in all over the Sierra Leone, in all corners of Sierra Leone. That is a success. And that's one of the signature policies the way you don't look at. So when we talk about assessing the possibility of re-election of President Bio, I believe, say we need to talk about the manifesto. We need to talk about the things that we promise Sierra Leoneans, whether he has delivered or not, and where he stands.
All right. Brother Thomas, I tell you plenty, thank you. I give you exactly 4 minutes and 30 seconds for make you give out a detailed analysis of the question here. If President Bio is electable in the 2023 general elections. Now, let we go to we brother Imran Toure. The question here, like I push on to me brother, is President Julius Maada Bio electable in the 2023 general elections? That's not the question why they put to you, brother Imran. Let you give you general overview.
Well, I am of a different view. Because as they say, all man get your fingerprint. The way me see him, if somebody get for be assessed, you get for be assessed based on performance. And if na performance na the basis where you assess somebody, worry say you not do anything for right home about. Because if you're not a parent, you get your picking when you go school, you go ask them for a report card. And now, as we did here, so we can't talk about the president a report card. And waiting me to see before me, it failed on every front. For starters, we talk about corruption here. Because quite a lot of people in Sierra Leone, when they talk about corruption and they talk about seeing them for take money, corruption not just for take money, now about good practice in governance. Like for instance, we see say, yes, it deliver partly, because he do the inquiry where he say he do, but how he do the inquiry, he not follow the usual channels the way he for follow. That was a miss and not a good precedence, because within a country, when a constitutional democracy, we get stipulated rules them, we lay down, where we get for follow like a fine-tooth comb. That was not done. It's not done because we see clear there were people them where we served in the previous government where we are found wanting, because if they get for offend somebody, those people should have been in that inquiry. We not see them there. Because for me, the test case where I go use Naya, I go take a person by the name of Chief Kapua. Chief Kapua be served under APC as a permanent secretary. And under a watch, now that's ended that people money loss where they get for do with Ebola. That mandate and suspend and pending investigation. Government, not government. Whether na APC or SLPP, na Sierra Leonean government. When una come, una get stipulated rules them, una get statutory rules them, una get for follow. It happened to say, if the man say it can end corruption, somebody would have found wanting at the previous government, then the investigator, then suspend them. You employ them and make them permanent secretary in a state house. That's not look good. No wonder some people in the talk will say the inquiry na be witch hunt. You get people that like the finance minister, you get quite a lot of people them will be work directly under the previous government. And when money lost, then we didn't have positions that when money lost, they were not questioned. And thirdly, some people and they wonder why some people in name not call. Why even the vice president in your name not call? Why? And that is Victor Fo. So people get a little bit apprehensive, say, so when short kick take place. And not so that's supposed to be in a democracy. If you talk, say, you can do something where you get for whole people responsible. You for whole everybody, regardless, you tribal orientation, you gender, you religious orientation, you regional orientation, we are all for be treated equally because now one country. And one thing where the allied people na Sierra Leone, we fight for the independence, when they all gather, the slogan where they get, because most APC na SLPP, most SLPP na APC, because Sierra Leone, you don't know that na APC, you don't know that na SLPP, where the realities to, come to play, because they all, they pan Lily Taparu and Lily funny business, where the slogan say, one country, one people. So if now one country, one people, why Kapua, while he day under suspension, pending investigation, then get a job. And that Monday, most of the money they look for, he hand upon them directly because na the cashier. Now he hand me the detail, but they not call them. And if you talk about the free education, you not go make a manifesto about something where there are elements of it all over the country before you came. So that is a deception, so far I'm concerned. Because if you say Mother Bio say na bring free quality education, then that means to say Pakaba no be do nothing. And that is not fair. Pakaba make full-fledged free education for primary school. Every primary school, to an extent, it pay for selective entrance for anybody where they see selective entrance in Sierra Leone. Only if you fail, all other subsequent payments and your parents can go pay for you. That was a very fantastic foundation Kaba set for education. Then an aschromatic power, where an aschromatic power, it pay for the middle exams at secondary school. Then it pay for the final exams at secondary school. That is the Beke and the WAS. Then it pays 70% of college fees for university students. That was free education. And in not stop there, any girl child in Sierra Leone where they offer pure and applied science, then they pay full college fees for them. So for me concerned, the new system, na university, na loan system, where they go lend you the money, which is not a bad thing, because education very expensive. You go nice for them recoup the money, investment people them, and the people them pay the money back with little or small interest if that's what they're doing, which I'm not sure about. For make them recoup some of the money, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But for make that claim, when a secondary school, no more, he pay for. It's also like if somebody go meet you in a cookery buffer, you want buy cookery. He ask you, say, you know, you pay for the cookery, you paddy walk in, and you paddy say, hey, but what you do now? I say, I can buy cookery, my money not full up. He say almost left, he say 50p. If full up, you buy cookery. Your friend no gets no right for claim saying I buy cookery for you. Now full up your money. Me go put them to everybody say one of the reasons that we make President Bio no go win a administration very deceptive, they're reckless in their spending, they also not really show any respect to the Sierra Leone voters. Because when you look at what happened when I do the other day, where right before the people in face, they want pull wool on them, they want for turn magician them. And people are not ready for stand for that. And you get a president where you know they spend the time home. In a president for overseas, not president for a country. Just in the last 40 days, he don't travel. Can London, he don't go Turkey, he don't go Ghana, he don't go Nigeria, he don't go USA, he don't go Guinea, he don't go Dubai now. Okay. And somebody tell me for say, he didn't go to the can Scotland. Okay. So really and truly, I don't know who say my brother day, but until you know say, some man get cross eye, and if somebody get cross eye, we go try for help. We can't give for them when they always get cross eye, for them get spectacle, so then we begin to see the realities where they happen.
All right. Brother Imran, I tell you plenty. Thank you for that detailed explanation. Like I said, the question reads, is President Julius Maada Bio electable in the 2023 general elections? Brother P. Thomas don't give general overview. Also, it talk about corruption, it talk about education, it talk about the Africanist press, and we brother also told the same line where instead of talk about education and it calmed down inside in final analysis where it talk about the traveling of the presidents, where it make mention say the president are traveling presidents, not a president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. So now, Brother Pearl, you don't hear we waiting. Brother ARP Thomas don't talk and Brother Imran I don't talk. So I want let yourself give a general overview of the question again. Is President Julius Maada Bio electable in the 2023 general elections?
Thank you very much. For sure, President Bio will be re-elected in 2023 because the people of Sierra Leone get so much confidence in President Bio. President Bio is an honest and sincere leader, determined for salvage the situation where the people of Sierra Leone find themselves. If I can go to what my brother Thomas just mentioned earlier, because I'll be the first speaker, they assure you say President Bio not even gets for face any runoff. The first ballot, therefore, give him, the second term. Mr. Electable, we say President Bio come, he said he fight corruption. He set up the Commission of Inquiry, and we all know, and Mr. Toure, I'm sure you know, that Sierra Leone is well known for corruption and the international system. All across the world, we say that we know Sierra Leone for corruption. And that's been there under the leadership of his former president, Ernest Koroma. We mortgage, we respect at the international stage. Then call me Olmonga because of Ernest Koroma in regime. Then go take resources on behalf of the people. They kind of personalize them. We see what happen. Now, the reason that many people of Sierra Leone decide, say that they vote for President Bio because of the manifesto where he presents. Today, President Bio, where he take over the governance of Sierra Leone, with corruption index, now be 41%. Today, Sierra Leone is rated as 81%. If we're very honest to it, if we're sincere to it, the intellectuals, people who can read between the lines, made us scale the work of the current anti-corruption commissioner, Ben Kafala, compared to JFK and compared to Adi Macaulay. We don't hold that office before the current anti-corruption commissioner. Let me compare them work. That is why the international system, the international barometer on corruption, don't say Sierra Leone don't go 81% from 41% in the last regime. That don't lead we for make Sierra Leone get NCC compact. We go therefore make Sierra Leone get over 400 million euros from the United States because of President Bio's strides in the fight against corruption. The Commission of Inquiry, my brother mentioned about brother here, Sierra Leone is a democratic country. President Bio is a president who believes in law and order. For all those where the Commission of Inquiry don't find one thing, the law, the court system of Sierra Leone, therefore prove them to we. That is why it don't create the opportunity, don't give people opportunity for men to go prove themselves now the court of law. President Bio is a Democrat, he respect the law and he respect the people of Sierra Leone. And that is ongoing for the one where they follow on what did happen in Sierra Leone. Very recently, we are one with Sister Diana Konomani, when I be APC minister, he go through the process in the court, he free himself because President Bio not got no hands in the judiciary. He left them for men to operate on their own. But that matters is still in at the court. The one that always teach Salon money, the one that make Salon the suffer today, the one that make education better in Sierra Leone, the one that make the health sector the suffer in Sierra Leone, the one that make we lost the social amenities in Sierra Leone. When are the APC political actors in? Then we must come to court for prove themselves. Now, a President Bio don't start, and it's not going for only stop with President Bio. One thing we will never all go for make clear to the people of Sierra Leone, President Bio is not targeting any particular political party. President Bio is not targeting any region. President Bio is not targeting any tribe in the fight against corruption. It is a system, and it's so endemic, and that we all need to come together to fight corruption and clear up this corruption of the country. And they beg me from them. Let nobody not distract you now. President Bio not saying that APC. President not saying that the Northerners or Southerners or Easterners. President not talk about tribe. Anybody who corrupt, that's Sierra Leone. Anybody who deep on corruption, where they make the country not develop, they have to track it down. And at that President Bio promised the people of Sierra Leone. And he has done that adequately for the people of Sierra Leone. Best on the fight against corruption, President Biyo forget over 70% votes that will come to overwhelmingly. A flagship program where he came with, when they talk about free quality education. Mr. Ture, you very well know that quality is a process. You not just go school in Sabibu. You go primary school, you go secondary school, then you go university. It's all a process. But the most important thing, as maybe they talked earlier, President Biya promised for coming free quality education. 3 years down the line, President Biya don't pay school fees for 2.5 million people in Sierra Leone. Yes, President Biya don't do that. Check out Mr. Ture. You represent the APC. The Ministry of Finance, anytime they disburse income money, when they go to the educational sector, then they make them public. You know, high. They're so transparent. President Biya spent 22% of the country resources on education. It's not found. That money not to President Biya in money, not the country money, not the people of Sierra Leone the money. But we want to make sure that a developed and educated population of the country will go benefit to it. It tell people that in the United States here say it comes with the free quality education, not because it is seek for votes, but because the country need that as a state. That should be the beginning. For Mr. Ture here in the United Kingdom, you know the value of education. You know what that means if a country become educated. If we get 80% to 90% of educated population, okay, what's that mean to a country? Now let it come. Let me come. This education side.
Yeah, but
Mr. Ture,
round up, you almost have like 30 seconds more because
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Mr. Ture, President Biyo say in the country quality education, he employ more teachers ever in the history of Sierra Leone. He don't give teachers 30% of, he don't add teachers 30% on the salary. He don't give 10% allowance. 10% of teachers allowance. He don't increase them. President Biyo don't recruit more inspectors of schools. He don't give them motorbikes when they're going to go right across the country for monitor education. President Biya don't buy 50 buses. He don't put internet buses a day for the students in Sierra Leone, okay, so that you go encourage them for them to go school.
We go come to that later.
Thank you.
Because everybody gets a fair share now. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I give everybody.
Thank you.
Sierra Leoneans, as when they listen, this is not a big question where we they ask: is President Julius Maada Bio electable in 2023 general elections? Like I say, I get with me Brother Pearl, ARP Thomas, and Imran Ture, where we they discuss this big question here. Then just don't give a general overview of why they feel say the president can be or cannot be elected in the 2023 general elections. Like I say, Brother Airway starts the ball rolling, talk about corruption, he talk about education, he talk about the Africanist press, and Brother Imran Ture can rob much by the traveling of the president, where he even make mention, say, the president, now a traveling president or a president of the Sierra Leone People's government. Now, we go cancel then discussions there. Yeah? We go start with the corruption. We go count down to education, and we go rub most by some of the things the way we brothers then talk. We're not the Africanist press, and we go talk about the traveling. Now, the next questions when I get for ask, please, gentlemen, we get for use 3 minutes because now 3 day on the stage. Why would they do this discussion? So we get for cut on time so that we're able to touch these 4 major areas. Any other thing can come up where we can discuss about where Mr. Go ask questions about. In the meantime, I want to start with you again, Brother Thomas, because now you've been started the ball rolling. We go the flip side by side. You talk about corruption. When President Biyo can power, it talks say corruption do endemic, when like a disease where they power, where it hurts for clear. And we don't see where President Biyo he appoints a young dynamic guy when Francis Benkefala. We don't see where President Biyo called for commission of inquiry. We don't see where President Biyo through Benkefala they don't begin retrieve some money then where that money don't begin go back na the consolidated fund. But ARP Thomas, you not feel say President Biyo don't work towards a manifesto by fighting corruption? Give us
and brush your teeth. I'm trying to do your lunch.
Yeah, a 3 minutes answer to that, please.
I would say in terms of corruption, President Biyo don't definitely set the pace. You don't start things that in predecessor being very timid and reluctant for do and not ever get for do, which is the Commission of Inquiry. Former President Dr. Anis Baikoroma been get the opportunity for do similar inquiry into the government of Dr. Hamid Tijan Kaba. But at some point, he refused to go ahead with them. If you don't plan them, but when you get into governance, he refused to go ahead with them. So I give a lot of, I want to acknowledge President Bill for standing up for that, because forget that courage they for see a popular government such as the Anis Baikoroma government, you could put them under the microscope. You must be somebody who really disciplined, somebody who's determined, somebody who wants certain results for promote. So I take my hat off to President Bill on that. And I appreciate the Commission of Inquiry to an extent, then do very, very well in investigating the issues. I mean, you see people abandon houses, hotels were abandoned in Sierra Leone. The Commission of Inquiry was not all wasted. It was very, very good. People abandon properties, people abandon businesses because they never let the Commission of Inquiry catch them. You understand? In Kono, for example, a hotel was abandoned. People abandon them. These now people away be registered to people away within a government. But when the Commission of Inquiry question, who say wanna pull like money for building this kind of hotel? You pay now $60,000-$70,000 a year. Who say pull that money for do this? For build a hotel, we what $1 million or $800,000. So they abandon it because they never want to be questioned. Vehicles were abandoned. So that the show say yes, there was indeed corruption in the former government of Anis Baikoroma. So I give kudos to President Yu for that. In terms of the continuation of that, where the white paper don't follow, and then you get court cases, you get Francis Ben Kafala is doing an incredible job for investigate every small corruption will come up. And I give them, in terms of fight against corruption, the fight, I give them kudos. But I also want to draw their attention to the fight, not to only a fight against the opposition, now a fight for citizens. If you're fighting for citizens, then you have to fight within as well. So I appreciate the government need to put more focus and attention for fight corruption within the Bill government as well, because corruption it don't rampant in the Bill government. We don't see it, say, like I mentioned before, the president in office has been accused, citizens then vote now a survey for identifies the president in office now the second most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone. The parliament, they say that the third most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone, and the police, the most corrupt institution in Sierra Leone. So if we get all the surveys and the Sierra Leoneans and they feel that way, then it's imperative for the government of the day actually look from within as well, not only outside. And that makes people look at them as a witch hunt, because the effort with the president, the government, they make for check within, it is not convincing. It needs to be as convincing as the effort that they make for check outside, for fight corruption outside the government, for fight corruption in the previous government. That same effort when they put the same effort for fight corruption within the government.
Okay, yeah, brother. Yeah, now let's look at that. A very good detailed explanation, brother Pearl. I want to come to you. The Sierra Leoneans then they say it's a shady corruption act where the governments can implement, because all the one there within the cage now only oppositions, then the cage that now one. And somebody just text me say the first lady and the chief minister, former chief minister, was accused of corruption. Nothing has came out of it. Now, brother Pearl, you are a member of the Sierra Leone People's Party. I want to rub more for that and make it clear to the Sierra Leoneans the way they listen out there.
Thank you very much. We all are Sierra Leoneans. President Biodo welcome everybody for participating in the political transformation of the country. But then viewed and then people then individual then perception, individual then views them that the first lady and the chief minister, the former chief minister, have been involved in corruption. Those are allegations. I wish they would get evidence for proof say indeed these people then they are actually corrupt or they engage in corrupt activities. President Bill let go in your wife, the first lady. He said, make the Anti-Corruption Commission, make the investigator. But here is a country where they start to investigate the office of the first lady, is spanned over to the office of the other first ladies before people got angry. But that is how it is supposed to be. You know, now so it can always be where you try for investigate corruption from one lead to another, from one lead to another. But President Bill is determined. President Bill is ready for fight corruption, even if the AO henchman, AO mandate says it. He has no secret cow in this fight. He keeps telling Sierra Leoneans, he keeps telling his team members that if anybody gets corrupt or gets into corruption charges, it'll let them go for me to deal with it appropriately. President Bill no got no secret cow in this fight. He ready for fight corruption. And this president, what he don't set, not just for him. In time, go for done. President Bill go for go away in the next 10 years. This will go for continue for fight this fight. And I'm sure this fight, not for any political party, it is about individuals. President Bill always on the tell we say corruption go for fight back. So we're not going to expect them for saying we're able to count down corruption in 3 years' time. The level at which corruption we don't do in our country. Yes, there will be corruption than the president in office. But the president not going to be aware of that because these are individuals. These are Sierra Leoneans. Because corruption, they win. How do we get rid of this one? It's a mental issue. It's a mental case. That's the president Bill everyone may get this fight. But in the lead the process. In parliament, President Bill is not in parliament. But the people in parliament are all Sierra Leoneans. Why then continue for them in corruption? I wish people get evidences. For at least to them, I say they're actually corrupt. And I'm sure President Bill will allow the law for taking cause. So that's how President Bill is. He has no friend wherever corruption is concerned. He said he determined to make corruption unfashionable. If there's anybody in SLPP that is corrupt and people have evidence against them, let them produce them. We will support to make sure that they charge that person to court. Because corruption don't derail the progress of this country. But for now, as it is, President Bill not done for 30 years. He not tell anybody say it, he don't succeed. But the trend at which he don't take, the drive where he don't take, is very impressive for saying he's ready for fight corruption. Now, the first time this will see somebody that reacts on Auditor General's report. These are things that don't happen in our country, where no actions are going to take place. But we see examination of our practice. We see what's going to happen in our country. Stuff like that.
Answer the question here, please. People say the corruption is a shady one. Now, only the oppositions, then they try for targets. Do you agree to that statement?
I totally disagree. Because President Bill is not targeting any individual. President Bill is not targeting any group. Now, the people of Sierra Leone, President Bill, they target for fight against corruption. This is what I'm saying. When we won elections 2018, a group of people that got themselves involved in corruption, now the Minister of Information, one of the top people there. The Minister of Information insisted, let's take them go to the police, let's take them go to the law. They were charged to court, they lost, then jail them. They go jail for about 2 years. Okay, so this particular regime, anybody who gets itself corrupt, corruption not done it in Sierra Leone. It cut across, not just one of them in high offices. It did all of us in the country. But President Bill determined for making unfashionable. And as far as President Bill is concerned, if not forgive mark for corruption, it's over 80% in the fight against corruption as Sierra Leone. Nobody ever is unprecedented. Nobody ever bring this kind way where President Bill can fight corruption in our country.
Thank you, Brother Per, for that wonderful explanation. Now, Brother Imran, I come to you. We see, like we president say, corruption is endemic, just like I said earlier, now a disease where they part of individual. Meaning the Sierra Leoneans, they've been just full of corruption. Any side you turn is full of corruption. You go to the school sector, corruption there. You go anywhere. And even inside President Bill, one of in visits then, where we all witness. It goes somewhere. Unfortunately, the former president, then or the former government, then when at the APC government, then go and stay in a particular hotel. They're not able to pay the bills. Where President Bill go, you're not able to enter, then say, except he pay all them bills then before he left. You being a sympathizer or, you know, an APC guy, though you are not representing the APC, you are representing yourself. But you see what in the former government do. And now President Bill, they try for clean up this corruption. Waiting are your idea towards waiting may happen and as to the link of waiting President Bill say currently?
You know, when we can hear some of them talk there, you know, it's like the SLPP party, then a dream cuckoo land. then they are deluded in their thoughts. You know, I go start with the Japan issue, like the hotel. That was one of the biggest fabrications then where the president is known to be a liar.
Oh my God.
Now a pathological liar.
It's not true,
It was
Mr.
clear
Trey.
that
I'm sorry to say this, Mr. Trey, it's not true.
it was clear.
Mr. Trey, I'm sorry to say this, it's not true.
Clear.
Brother,
It
It's
was
not a liar.
clear.
Brother Imran, let's
Look,
have
I am
He's a
not
sincere
here.
leader.
Brother Imran,
I am not
let's have
here
it.
to give.
He is the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. On this medium,
So-
I wouldn't want us to use any absurd word. Please.
I have not said any. He lies. He lies. There's no-
Go
Elizabeth,
ahead,
Elizabeth,
sir.
He lies. He
Elizabeth,
lies.
oh, Imran, wait,
I'm
Imran, wait,
not in
Elizabeth,
there for cam.
Brother
I'm not in
Imran,
there for
Imran,
give pleasantries.
Imran,
has the podium. Let him speak.
Imran,
I
can
am not
just say
here to
something?
give pleasantries to people.
Okay, go
I am
Imran,
ahead.
can I
here,
say
like I
something?
said.
Wait, Imran,
No, brother.
wait for me, please.
Brother
Which are they
Pearl.
say? Elizabeth,
Yes.
for say the president lie not to insult.
Yes. No, I know.
Now,
I know.
now the
I'm
man
just
in
making
view,
clear. I'm
if
making
he say the
points
president
clear.
lie, if
You know,
he say
I
the
am
president
really
lie,
tired with
if we
this
able
kind
talk
of
am.
culture where
If
they
you
try
say
for
the
being
president cheap,
or
if we
try
able
for
talk am,
do a
it should be free for
Gestapo kind
expression.
system where we get a communist
What I
dictatorship
am saying
where you
here,
cannot
I'm not
say
saying
anything.
what he
The
said.
No,
president
but that's
picture
also
get for
my
them
view about the
everywhere.
president that he's not a
Sierra
liar.
Leone,
No,
nobody
I'm
can
not
say
saying
anything.
brother.
No,
brother,
It is
it's
my
also my
view.
view, Mr. Trey, that the president is not a liar.
Brother
It is
Pearl,
not
It's also my
profanity.
view.
I have the
I don't know
podium,
if you
please.
understand. I don't know if you understand the meaning of the word.
Let's understand
I do.
ourselves.
If the
I
man
do.
talks,
It seems you do not.
if the man
It
talks,
seems
say
you do not.
APC,
Brother Pearl, I
Yeah.
have the podium. Everybody has rights to what they are saying. What I was
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to say here is,
If
please,
they-
let's be respectful. I'm not saying what brother Emra say was wrong or enough fit for Siam. I get rights for tell President Bio say it a lie if I get points for make a substantiator.
The
But
Mr.
wetin
get
I
right
dey
for
say
say
is
no,
just
you know the
allow
lie.
discussion so that we go
The Mr.
come
get
up
point,
from there.
Mr. get right for say you know the lie.
Let's go, brother Imran. Go ahead, brother Per. Let's give him chance. He gave you.
No, I really hope Brother Pell go respect the viewers.
I'm gonna
Then.
give you your time.
You had your
Let's go.
time.
Yes.
You
let's
said
go,
a
let's
lot
go.
of things
I
that we
just
are not
make
agree
things
with.
clear, brother
I not
Imran.
interject
Let's go.
at any time.
The Sierra
I
Leonean
allow you
people
for
are
flow,
waiting. This is
and
a
I hope
debate.
you go give me
They
that
are
same
waiting for
respect.
us.
Day.
Brother Imran, go ahead. Brother Per, give him a chance, please. I don't want to mute anybody, please. Brother
And I go
Imran,
put
go
on to
ahead.
Brother Pell say the president is a pathological liar.
All right, go
And I
ahead
go
and
give you reasons
substantiate
then.
it. Yes.
I go give you reasons them to me argument.
Perfect.
And I dey start with waiting with beautiful presenters say, Naya. He say, the president say, we former government go na Japan, then go na hotel, they not pay for the hotel, pass way Inga for pay the bill. It be clear. It be clear to everybody say that was a lie. Because the trip where they go on, Sierra Leone government not be get for pay nothing. It was all fully paid for by the Japanese government. So that was not true. When the government talk na United Nations say it don't pay school fee for 2.5 million pikin, and he say it don't increase them to another 800,000. That means to say it pay school fee for 3.3 million pikin in Sierra Leone. If we country, in population now about 7.something million, half of the population are students. Almost workforce we get. Almost infants then we get. Almost pensioner then we get. You know, SLPP gets this thing where they can just sit down, then concoct figures from the sky. Then they rain them down. With no due respect, say there are other people in the country where intellectually inclined. I find them very distasteful. And the president, then a United Nations, he tell preposterous lies like that one day. Say 3.3 million picking they pay school fee for them. If not that, they do fine. Beautiful. We go applaud them for that. But to start with that statistic that the challenge are wrong. No country, no day, now this entire world, where almost half, in fact, half of the population, now students go in pupils. That cannot be right. That was wrong. And I will ask the Department of Statistics for make then get involved in this discussion because it cannot be. You see, we get certain tendencies and they with we the Sierra Leonean them. It can tell it for say when the government, any government they in power, if they give we spoon for each na bullpan, we they support them irregardless what they do. But me, they against that because I can even send light from the alpha side syndrome, where alpha side will say all kinds of things, but President Bio, then when they mondo him, he forgets all that, then he begin to talk good now about him, he talk bad about APC. And quite a lot of Sierra Leonean them on either side, that's what they do. Then they come, can sit down, they talk all kinds of pleasantries because they either want a job or they want me to mondo them. Immediately they mondo them, or then they mondo them, they're not they see anything wrong. I am not here for pleasantries. If you notice, me know they call no minister honorable because so far me concerned, there are no honorables in Sierra Leone. So far me concerned. Because right now, if Madabio don't do well, why the people in the zoo complain? You know they reflect on the people in dinner table. You know they reflect at all. People and they shout. When they shout, then when they ask them why they cry, when I know very well what thing they go through. And make a put onto you. Kapua be there under suspension. Why did they under suspension? When I get a job for be permanent secretary in a state house. Kapua between them and Mohamed Kone. Mohamed Kone, where now the present electoral commissioner. Now state house will be work. Now because of his service where he render for connive with Ben Kefala for hide the thievery where the chief minister do. Now that's make them send them go as a reward. Because now they know for say, they get somebody we go rig elections for them, okay, and they person loyal to them.
Imran,
and now a safe pair of hands. You know?
Imran, with that statement saying they connive with the thievery where the chief minister do, now I make them reward them. Waiting that you correct statement. I mean, waiting that you correct view of that. You get any substantive information for giving?
It is substantive. Then waiting happen. Chief Kapua left the state house. And they can't make a land, my sister. Chief Kapua left the state house. He go become paramount chief. Guess what? The paramount chief the way writes letter for protest against the allegation against the chief minister. Now in leader for writes that letter day. His signature day number 1. You know, for make them know church them picking way come on Kenema. Is that the way you stop corruption? You not go get selective justice, then you go all around and tell people and say, oh, I can't stop corruption. No, nothing has been done so far me concerned. Because you know they go give Grumpig charge for arrest Sarata over
we
you know
go to the next point. We almost
you know go
yeah. We almost
you know go give Grumpig the initiative for arrest Sarata over the stealing of Banga.
All right,
you know right.
That's a very good one. Where Sierra Leoneans, if we just join with this debates where we try for substantiate whether President Bio he go get a second term mandate without the people then go elect him. So Brother Imran just give you a detail when I asked him about the Japan travel. He give a point say that was a lie on the side of the president. I try for make corrections because I not go while we go further than that. You can tell the president he's lying if you have a point to say it, but I just make it clear, say, let we not use any absurd word where it could be, detrimental to my station and to everybody we sit on at this medium because he's the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone in as much as we try for discuss whether electable. We also need for your respect and use certain words.
Well, that is not respect. Lie is not profanity. Now somebody will not talk true.
I just made it clear that it wasn't something wrong that you did. It wasn't wrong. I get it. Take it back. I was just saying I made it as a caution so that we do not use any absurd word on this medium. That's what I made clear.
Now, actually convincing with the evidence he produced that the president is a liar.
He did not convince me, but that's what I'm.
Thank you. Let's move forward. No, okay, but he's not really speaking for you, but he's speaking for the people of Sierra Leone. The people of Sierra Leone know. Thank you.
They are giving their reward, they are giving their points, and those questions will be answered or will be asked. Now, let me come to Brother P. Thomas. Brother P. Thomas, we just hear all them claims here where we board that don't make say number one on this corruption act. Say when they go Japan, it was a lie. The president, the visits where they go, the former visits where they go, it was all paid by the Japan government. But now the president say it was paid by them. Do you agree to that fact? Waiting, Brother Imrase.
I believe the media asked those questions. Look, I just want to make let we set the tone first for robust and honest discussions without limitations.
Sure.
I think in a program such as this, a medium such as this, especially we don't live overseas, we know the difference between decent and indecent languages. Yes?
Exactly.
I feel say if we're able to entertain people and for express their views, our president is not the champion of Sierra Leone, is a servant to us. He serves our country. So people and for able to express their views. If you see and say the president is saying a lie, you see and say lie. I just want to use this opportunity for. Wait.
So we can pick it up from there.
Wait on.
I know whatever you are saying.
All right, let me just get. I just want to make a clarification. The reason why I make this clarification,
sure, go ahead.
Now in the interest of your network, you understand? Because when somebody don't begin to call President Bio Lyman, then already you don't caution them just because you don't say Lyman. It they make people and the viewers then go feel say this is an SLPP station. You understand? Because me, I don't see who said and don't cause former president and it's by Chroma all kind cause. You understand, a network. As long as it is done appropriately, it is not done in a way that is uncultured and stuff. Is allowed for call a president. If you feel say is corrupt, if you feel say is steals, if you feel say na a tribalistic president, whatever way you feel, as long as you're able to present it in a way that is palatable, even for the child for understanding, it will be like a filth in the ears of the child. Then it should be presented.
Okay,
so I just want to get that fact.
Let me quickly land, then we can pick our questions up from there. Waiting I've been try for say was this. In the first place, this is not an LCPP station. Now, number two, I just been to make a caution so that we pick her up from there that in as much as we discuss about her, let we use a word. I not say waiting brother Emran say was wrong by calling him a liar. I can call Anes a liar. I can call First Lady a liar as long as I have a substantiative evidence why I am calling her a liar. But I was just making a caution so that we can pick that caution up from there. So he has the right to what he says. So the question now to you is, do you agree to waiting, brother Umar say?
I believe that the caution was unnecessary because you know, if there's anything wrong, and this is his first comment about that has been like that. I think if it is, you will make a caution if you see that things are getting out of hand. But that was the first comment that he made. That was
do you
you know.
You agree to waiting, brother Imran say? Let's leave that now. We've already cleared the air. You agree to waiting, brother Imran say?
Well, look, brother Imran gets in views, and I think the president didn't get in views. EC. Brother Imran just don't say you don't observe, you don't collect your information, so they speak for them views. So I'm going to speak for myself. Now, me no know that particular visit where President Bill visit Japan, what it meant, on what occasion it was, because President Bill mentioned his visit to Japan, but you know we mentioned what thing had been the visit for, whether he was invited, what had happened, what he was going there to attend. He said, I visit Japan. According to him, I visit Japan. And all the other head of state then visit. Who said with the lodge, you know, we believe they not allow me to enter. So I cannot comment on whether it's true or not. But what I can comment on is that
a whole sitting president no go sit down and say he go on national television. All the major media houses in Sierra Leone and lie to Sierra Leoneans blatantly. You understand? I think that is something that it is highly unlikely for a whole sitting president to do that. Now, but at the same time, you look at it, the APC is holding a government now for defend themselves. But we look at this record, maybe that was years ago. These people travel a lot. APC has traveled a lot. I received President Nkrumah Naya, Australian affairs when he arrived. You understand? As the interim chairman for all Sierra Leonean communities in Australia, I received him when he arrived. I traveled 6 hours to go and receive him. So he did travel as well. So it's not easy, but let's just pinpoint one incident. Say, okay, now this thing don't happen there. You understand? And respond to that incident. It could have been just an accounting error. We don't happen where they never pay their bills. You understand? But the government where President and as by Nkrumah lead at I don't believe say then intentionally to avoid and act this kind of way. I think as former president and as by Nkrumah a honorable person, a respectable person, and a person where don't ever allow Sierra Leone to be seen or acting in such a dishonorable manner. I don't believe that. With all my heart and soul, I don't believe that. Okay, with all my heart and soul, let's just add. With all my heart and soul, I don't believe the President Bio the lie either. So this is my position. But my view on this is that it is disgraceful in itself for a sitting president for even mention this now all the media houses in Sierra Leone. Even if it is true, it is not right, it is not ethical for the president to use this and mention Sierra Leone as an example of the failures of the predecessors. I think that was out of line. I think that was it humiliates the presidency and the governance of Sierra Leone for even mention that when you're dealing with it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brother Thomas, for that beautiful, beautiful analysis. Now, Brother Per, make a count to you. This could be the last question, and we go move on to education. Wise, we go quickly talk about the African Express, and we go talk about the president in travel. Now, then 4 topics then. We go just rub more quickly because of timing. Now, Brother Per, make a count to you. You agree to the fact that Brother P. Thomas, they say that was something where President Biafra don't probably cover up because in predecessor that a failure on the side of the Sierra Leone. You agree to the fact that the president now lie that no go Japan and in predecessors then get a hotel for pay. You agree to the fact that
thank you very much.
That don't be last one. You agree to the fact that President Bio definitely gets no rights for make it openly say na national television that it go and get embarrassed. Answer this question in 3 minutes whilst we go down to the education, please.
And thank you very much, Elizabeth. I don't really want to spend me time on this particular issue.
Okay.
What we have at hand talk about the possibilities of President Bio becoming the next president after 2023 elections. You know, as he said, that's really, really not important. For America, I go try for categorize here exactly the achievements of the president and why make it need a second term. As he said, that's more for don't dwell on here. Yeah, but I know, and most Sierra know that President Bio not a person where they talk boku. He's not a liar. He's an honest and sincere leader. So for my President Bio say, I go to Japan. It faced that kind obstruction and I'm sure it happened. It happened, yes. Like Thomas said for covering up, but that tells you how disorganized the last regime was. Former President Nkrumah might not know that happened, but because corruption is in the system, now it happened. So President Nkrumah, President Bio it faced that. He just mentioned that in passing, that actually the outgoing government were actually corrupt and disorganized. The most important thing here is how President Bio don't deliver on a manifesto. President Bio don't come, he meets people there when are pensioners, they will get 30,000 loans. Today, it don't move on to 250,000 loans. Now, true or not lie? These are the things we should be talking about. When we talk about President Bio, a manifesto. President Bio don't come with a social safety network. We don't see the work when NACSA they do. They don't distribute money to women then during this COVID. Over 10,000 women then in Sierra Leone. Not true or a lie. These are the things we want to talk about.
Okay.
They talk about infrastructural development. President Bio don't come. They do
education.
Pere Bridge. They do Maban Bridge. They don't do one secondary school in Port Loco. Not true or a lie. President Bio don't come, they don't renovate schools, they don't build new schools, they don't get us more classrooms as it used to be. Not true or a lie.
All right.
These are the things we should be asking about.
Yes, Brother Per, that is perfectly said. But when you there in a forum of debate and discussion, you got to go along with waiting people then say, and you being somebody where they represent the Sierra Leone People's Party, I go also put onto you for make that clarifications, because if somebody don't allege something, you need for clarifying so that you go make things clear. Now let we go down to education, Brother P. Thomas. We brother talk say education be done day before, and inside the president in a major manifesto where 22% of the economy right now they run down to education. We see a lot of innovations, we see a lot of developments, we see a lot of children in our schools all over Sierra Leone right now. We see how teachers, a lot of teacher recruitments, and we currently see award where the president gives to teachers then for just encourage them. Now, we brother say education be done day before. Free quality education be done day before. But President Bio in manifesto they tell we say, in they give free and quality education. Now, I wonder you rub much to that statement where we brother Imran be say, and that's of President Bio in manifesto, Brother P. Thomas.
Firstly, I want to let you just say Imran a politician.
Sure.
Yeah. All the viewers they know. This guy owner is so Imran a politician. It's a bit talk. So that I get a lot of respect for and regard for him, and what he mentioned in terms of the free education, the level of free education that was provided by former President Dr. Ahmed Jankaba is true. There was a certain time where education was provided free for a certain set of kids. And it's by Chroma did similar. You understand? That is 100% true. It is there for the record. However, there's never been in the history of Sierra Leone, there's never been a comprehensive free education to the level where President Bio don't take up. This is the first ever in Sierra Leone. You understand? President Bio don't make education free for picking the way they go primary school, where they go high school. 100% free. You understand? Now, government schools. And also, Tapio, he extend them to certain private schools them where they don't endorse. Those private schools where they don't endorse, where the government don't endorse, the government they pay those private schools for make them offer free education publicly. You understand, eh? You therefore understand that when you talk about private school, then prices then higher than public schools. So the president they pay higher fees to private schools them for make them provide public services. You understand? So in terms of the level where President Bio don't take them, nobody will question them. I don't say if you're a politician or you want to present out that way, but the truth remains that President Bio has done incredibly, like a very bold step. 22% of the GDP allocated to education. And the man in mantra now for empower people through education so that they were able to stand up for themselves, which has been embraced by the international community. Don't see Bill Gates, they rough skin with President Bio and the Minister of Education. We don't see several other people pouring millions of dollars into President Bio in free quality education policy. Do you understand? If they didn't realize that there was potential there for transform Sierra Leone, they would not put their money there. Millions have been poured in there. Sierra Leoneans have poured in, volunteered. Ordinary Sierra Leoneans have poured in money there because it is a policy that It is designed to transform the lives of our countrymen. It is a policy that is designed to prepare the next generation for move Sierra Leone forward. Let me tell you, I know they say President Bio in free education program, not perfect program. I'll be lying if I say that to you. That is not true. However, I am saying to you that it's a good start. It is a bold start that should be commended. Every year, I take my hat off to President Bio on that particular occasion. Somebody will say, boy, yeah, this man, they don't talk about food, lunch, that not they provide, they don't talk about books, that not they happen, they don't talk about uniform, that not they happen. But what is happening? You understand? What is happening? What is happening is that kids in Sierra Leone in government schools, I'm not talking about private, but in government schools, are not paying fees. So the possible don't they drag. Imagine picking in the car and come on a village and kind of fit down for car attend school, they turn into prostitutes. They used to be selling as petty traders because then one guy that is school fees. That is no longer the case. We were there overseas, to be honest. We were there overseas, we get family members then back home. They are always calling school fees don't come out there. Now, they don't do that. I tell you, nobody has called me about school fees in Sierra Leone. People can call me about university fees. People can call me about lunch. People can call me about shoes, bags. But nobody has called me about school fees.
Okay.
You understand?
Brother Thomas, I tell you plenty thank you for that clear explanation, because you know say we get time limits and you just don't exhaust your time. Now, Brother Imran, make a count to you. We don't see Dr. David Senge, he don't create an app. We're in a dictionary app. We don't see Dr. David Senge, he creates an app where parents then they check their results then, right, online and placements, compared to the previous governments where we see a scratch card. Sometimes parents then they even cry, then buy the scratch card before they scratch and done. They're not able to see nothing for do. And that they create a lot of problems for them. So, and we don't see where parents then they testify, say they're happy, teacher recruitment, a lot of other things. Do you agree to the fact that the education is taking a turn? Because earlier on, you know, an educated nation is an enlightened nation, where we discussed that. Do you agree to the fact that education is taking a turn in Sierra Leone?
Look, my dear friend and sister, anybody we stand against the provision of free education in any country, in not lacking safe, in not lacking roots, in not lacking people. Because knowledge, we people and say, na a garden. You get for cultivate them, for let you harvest them. But knowledge at the same time, if you come with wisdom, because if you not come with wisdom, it's like where you put watana sansan. Yes, we all glady where it can add on top waiting down day. But in no go take credit from a predecessors them, because they make a foundation. We make it easier for them for make it can put on top. Now that's most people can get problem with. Even me when they talk to you now. But for say,
Brother Imran, let me quickly learn. Do you believe the fact that governance is continuation?
It is.
All
Now
right,
that make people like we they wonder where we president they claim say nobody else will do nothing. In the brainchild, now in the person we do it all. No. It come complete waiting others have started. And that was a brilliant move. But again, with the area people that they talk for say then they pay top up. They get for top up, they get for give some money in a school and then kind of thing. I don't know how true is it, but with the area, then things and they go around. And when you read then kind of thing and they go around, you not go turn and give them deaf ears. And as I they talk and so I hope say the people them way they discharge their responsibility as leaders them now the education sphere go look into their issues then because people then they complain say then they take top up money from them. But the reality is now the issue where people and they also talk the 23%. You get a GDP of a country, especially a country where they do manjalanji na bigger big with the bigger big. All right? we not get proper economy for we self. We na underdeveloped country. And it is only beautiful for make we invest and we begin them for make the land. But I only hope say the land in them go try for make them in a way where they will begin to solve problems them rather than people and just they go cram and pass and sit down and make themselves bureaucrats for pull big grammar upon people. Because right now the education system passed in our work. Because we get people with PhD by engineering, pass and go pull people in other country for come make we hold them. We doctor them and just forgive people in codeine and paracetamol. So what they don't do, if they can try for make we own education system begin to solve problem, then I go applaud that as well. But where we get a president where they say he don't pay for 2.5 million picking them, then on top that, he say he don't add under 800,000. Almost picking again our country, picking not to mosquito them. They're not that plenty. How the picking go plenty past the workforce? How the picking go plenty past the pension age? How the picking go plenty past the mama themselves we born them? There is something wrong there. Because I don't notice say this SLPP government get an history for cook statistic for make it suit waiting a one for say. And they help them because they catch up on them. You see, now life, when somebody they urinate, they go for them far. But when they don't, they can right under your foot. They can soak your foot if you don't move your foot. So then lie they are always in their life. So they go catch up on them because at the end of the day, Sierra Leoneans are not full.
That last word way.
Then go see through and that time day 2023. Now you wanna get for bring the report card.
Okay.
All what you wanna they talk so all the jati what they talk about.
Okay.
That time the people that go look the report card say yes, he do well on free education. Yes, he do well on this. Yes, but again, one other side where I find them a little bit worrisome that the fact say they spend 23% of we total GDP per percentage per education. That is brilliant. But is it going to education? And if they go education, what about the other important areas then?
Okay, brother, because we go cancel that as we not get much time again for go. Brother Pearl, I want to give you chance, make you rub more to the two participants then waiting and say, make you rub more to as to the free and quality education and when are the main manifesto of President Julius Maada Bio.
Thank you very much, my sister. Brother Imran, you been no say before Ernest Kroma the left, you be owe West Africa Examination Council $11 million whether we supposed to pay for school fees.
Point of correction, not to Ernest Kroma or WAEC.
Now in regime. I say in regime. I say Ernest Kroma in regime.
The government, no, I just
let me come. Listen to me. Then let me come.
Ernest Kroma no owe them.
Oh my God.
The government of Sierra Leone owe them.
Fine. But it was under his regime.
Build up your point, brother.
Yes.
That's the government of Sierra Leone under.
Fine, I agree, but it was led by Ernest Kroma and the APC. He's talking about Ernest Kroma-led administration.
Okay. We don't come for talk about Ernest Kroma now. We come for talk about the electability of the sitting president.
No.
Ernest Kroma don't done his term. He don't retire.
Oh God. Now,
you said about him.
No.
We are talking about your man.
Oh my God.
Let's give Brother Pearl a chance to make his points. Yes.
Well, you say, Brother Imran, you don't say President Biola for take credit for the free quality education that Ernest Kroma been on the ground before in the APC. Not that's what you said. That's what you say. So that kind of education Ernest Kroma been getting people Sierra Leone. Now they tell you say, and left we as old monger in administration with West Africa Examination Council with $11 million. But President Biyo come, now he pay that money because he believe in education. There's a stalemate.
And Maada Bio na income can lock Lincoln Queen University as well, isn't it?
There was a reason to that. No. There was a reason to that.
Let's give opportunity.
So Lincoln Queen not a part of the free education.
Oh my God.
Them picking and they waiting now they broke stone.
No. Stone. Mr. Ture, in London, you don't know the issues back home. You don't know how the company came out. The kind of corruption will be involved in that sector. If you listen to the Commission of Inquiry, it will tell you exactly what it is.
So if
Brother Pearl, go ahead. Brother Pearl, go ahead now.
No, but you need to stop him.
Okay,
you need to stop him.
Please. I already did. Let's go. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want for Mr. Ture know that at this corona we ever take education serious. If we can always West African Examination Council is about $11 million. In a pay. But here's the president who come. He said, I'm committed. I'm gonna dedicate myself to this. He don't pay that money for beginning. Then they go school, Sierra Leone. You're talking about the quality. Yes, I quite agree that the quality is a process, not just one day. The education where you are picking and enjoying overseas, it didn't just come up within a twinkle of an eye. It's a process. That is why we need for support. And look at you, Mr. Ture. What the opposition is supposed to be doing? You mentioned say other schools and teachers there that they ask for support. What is the opposition doing? When opposition fully knows say President Biya the best fees so all beginning, then they pay 22% of the country in resources to education. Now they run around of the opposition, but all what you care about is election and coming to power. Now when I place around of a goal at the schools there, but make sure say the beginning benefits from that money that when the government is spend. Not the President Biya longer for run the country. But what do we see opposition care about? Chaos, obstruction for distract the government. That's what they care about. But this government is going to succeed. I assure you, Mr. Ture. President Biya is determined, his bent for make sure into the sciences, technology, into the academic system, Sierra Leone. We must see that. It was by no mistake that he brought in Dr. David Senge for making head that institution or that sector of the administration. And we don't see the kind of innovations when don't take place at the educational sector. President Biya come, it pay for all entrance forms now all universities in this country. It not ever happen. I tell you plenty, thank you, Brother Thomas, because you're honest and patriotic Sierra Leonean. You see the good, you talk come. And I assure you, Mr. Ture, you have to go back to the drawing board. But for 2023, it's over. President Biya has won the elections already. Because the people of Sierra Leone, they appreciate him. It's not what you sit in London and say. It is about the people of Sierra Leone. And that woman that have the struggle for sending the kids and go school. So the President Biya, they pay for that, they appreciate. They begin and they go school, then they eat. They're happy. They begin and go there, they got free textbooks. They are happy for that. With the kind of poverty in our country, President Biya, the person will feel for the people of Sierra Leone. And this is very, very important.
Okay, Brother Pen, now let's look at the energy sector. Brother Imra, can you unmute yourself? Brother Imra. Now, Brother Imra, now we come to the energy sector. We don't see how President Biya, through the Minister of Energy, where then they bring transformers all over the country. Then they try for electrify the whole Sierra Leone. But unfortunately, we also they see the bad homemongers then they try for poor the good work where the presidents they do for Sierra Leoneans. Like when lights day, like when me and you two sit down at this country, lights day, now me and you they enjoy, not the opposition, just they enjoy. Now, you know, the livelihood of people them. But we see what's in they happen. On your side, as a Sierra Leonean where they live now the diaspora, you feel say President Biya they do very good towards the energy sector?
Well. This you put me na the spot, but I will refuse for the spot where you want me. Anything where anybody they do for improve the quality of life of the people of Sierra Leone, anybody with the right mind not go stand against them. Of course, it is brilliant for let with people and get power, let them get electricity, make life go be easier for them. But again, when they see the blame culture, we don't polarize with society, where now the tension, tribal tension, the party tension is higher than it ever been at the country because of half things that really happen. Everybody don't know the world say people and the thief copper wire. The issue of then damaging the damage transformer, it is not vandalism. Because I didn't England, even in England, they happen. where people and they go claim them churches them. Then he claim them churches them. Hello, una dey hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Where people and they go
It
claim
is
them
vandalism, though. It is vandalism, bro.
No, it
Yes.
is.
Thomas, I'm coming to you. Let's
It
allow him
is.
to
You
land.
know,
Let's allow him to
where
land. Go
people
ahead.
and they go well.
No, I just want to make the correction. Now, vandalism. We
because
destroy
No,
public
it is.
property. No, vandalism.
It is government property. It is.
Okay,
So-
Imran, land. You get.
me not see them as vandalism because everywhere in the world and they steal copper wires. And Sierra Leone, it make them a lot easy because the other day we get this discussion one forum where I go to my local area, I go snap all the transformer them. They're all fenced and they're all there in enclosure. Why? One, for protect the people them. Make picking and not go, they make it not kill them. Make farm animal and not go, they make it not kill them. And governments are then duty for do all them thing and they, if then they thief them in there or then they vandalize them in there, what does the government do for prevent that? Rather than making them blame, yeah. You know, because when you look at it, then they sell the wire for get money. And you know, say any side where poverty they, where people are desperate, then they do desperate things. So if people and they try for insinuate saying that APC they do them, I totally reject that. Because when it comes and thief, it not come by APC. When it come and thief, it not come by SLPP. When it come and thief, it not come by Minde, it not come by Madingo, it not come by Soso, it not come by Fula.
All right.
Thief man. If they find anybody, they vandalize them in a day. When we not believe in vandalism, the person for face the full force of the law.
Good. Okay.
And I feel to say the government also for don't land say then see how they happen and then get for put things them in place for prevent that from happening again.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Imra. Even though you say not of vandalism, but anything where you tamper with, we're not so you put on there in the first place, and when a government property in a vandalism. Now, Brother Thomas,
that is not the definition.
Okay. All right, let's
now when you deliberately damage something.
Brother Thomas, let I cancel you. This something happened when you, I believe, say you come up from Kono district, and recently we see a whole transformer where they just install. 2 days after, then go cut all the coppers, then come out. You believe say nothing like that we're good for this government or we're good for Sierra Leoneans then, like I said earlier.
But we are deviating. But we are deviating here. We are supposed to be talking about the electability of BO.
All those come under his electability because if he is acting for the Sierra Leonean people, then he's electable. If he's giving light,
I feel say we are going on a tangent here.
If he's not giving light, he's not providing for the people, then he's not electable. We have to go by what's the Sierra Leonean. As we are talking, you and I go by what's the questions that are coming in that I need to ask you guys. So that's why I am doing. So, Brother Thomas, we see recently Kono district where they go cut a whole transformer, then Poelam. They see, we all then at this part of the country. When they give lights now, everybody enjoy, not so opposition or just the ruling government. However, Brother Imra, they try for insinuate, say, people then go feel say na APC. Why, if a point that we don't know, but I don't feel say any of una don't do any insinuation or una don't point finger. Now, I want to let you tell with Salon Fambu then, why and waiting make people then for stop for do them kind of thing then?
Firstly, I get 10 minutes left before I start work.
Sure.
So I would like to make me concluding statement at some point within the next 10 minutes. But in regards to your question, I want to make we look at and it's by Corona being in governance. Similar issues were happening all over the country. You understand? No to now no more start. A lot of things. You know where Hannes by Kroma he revamped the Bumbuna Hydro. Imagine the Bumbuna Hydro na APC stronghold. People and go Hannes by Kroma go loan money from World Bank, put pole and take a machine.
Thank you.
You understand? People and go cut and cable and for make pots, for make this, for make that. You understand? And indeed, there were
allegations that SLPP members were masterminding to undermine the government. And transformers, not to now them begin broke, and not to now people and begin to thief them. You understand? It has been happening for years, decades. Now, what to make I decide this? I want to make we acknowledge number one. Where APC in a government, SLPP no one help them. That's generally what it is. Where SLPP in a government, APC no one help them. That then they hold we back. You understand? So naturally, if you get them two opposing sides when they exchange baton, when they hate each other, they want to undermine each other for score political points. Naturally, citizens will assume in the opposition. Then they undermine. It's just what it is. It's the reality. You understand? This is not the reality. It may not be the opposition directly masterminding every other incident where they happen in the country, but because the opposition always they try to undermine the government of the end, and then two political parties already undermine each other, then naturally citizens are going to point fingers at the opposition. So that we accept that. That is the reality. The second thing I mentioned to you with respect to the transformers, the people in the vandalize and thief in Sierra Leone, I believe in a community responsibility. Let me tell you, me who's here in Australia, I have transformers on the pole where I am, just few meters from my house. You understand? Like 100 meters from my house. There's a big transformer they hang on at the pole at the top. You understand? If me see anybody, I don't care whether it's red, green, or yellow shirt you wear, which particular, I see anybody claiming that try to cut down on me. My first thing that I will do is to call the police straight away. You understand? Call the police straight away, alert me neighbors then for stop them, because I know if that person they destroy that transformer, electricity that me host, they go off. They begin to watch TV, we don't get air con that host, we fridge could go off. I know all those things.
Yeah.
So what am I saying? Yeah. I am saying that a community responsibility to an extent for ensure that the national amenities where the government don't provide, that is protected by the community. Look at what happened in Connaught. It's so frustrating.
But you know go do an Australia. You know go do an Australia because the electricity will kill you high voltage. Because you always get
that you can do it.
Mr. Ture, please.
He has a couple minutes with us now because.
Okay, all right, okay.
Because I have 2 questions before he leaves.
What I say is that transformers for Pulam, whether power they know they you pull the transformers.
Sure.
You understand? If you know what you're doing, you can remove it. We don't see people and they climb up live wire and they connect. They know they die because you know what you're doing. You understand?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that what happened at Connaught for me, as a Connaught descendant, it broke my heart. It broke my heart because imagine Connaught is a place beside power supply and be an issue. For years, power supply and an issue. They know they cry. I've been to Connaught when I was in Sierra Leone for a whole year. I've been to Connaught. Most of my time I spend in Connaught and Bo. And I know power is an issue, both Konobo and all these other places. So they don't put transformer, they don't set up their big power plant where they don't set up in Connaught. Massive, not small, very big station. You get SSD officer with gun there, guiding. And yet he was there when they stole those things.
Oh,
you understand?
my God.
So what I'm saying to you is our responsibility. We are failing ourselves. If government don't pay an SSD officer wait there on a salary per month to get gun in a country where personal gun ownership is outlawed, how that person they go in that place they can't keep big transformer where you need machine for move them? He said no. How? Even if na smoke or you drink take jack, transformer then na something when na tons you need machine for move them.
Okay,
you understand?
Brother Thomas, you know, say we not get much time with you now. I get one other question where I just want to put to you. You know, we umbrella question here is President Bio electable in the 2023 general elections? We don't give overview of the corruption. We don't give overview of the education And we just dey talk about the energy sector where I'm glad the way you said it's right for bring calm, because this is a responsibility of all Sierra Leoneans, not only the government. Because if enjoyment stay, now you enjoy. If enjoyment stay, now me enjoy. Just like when me and you two they enjoy light 24 hours round the clock. Now this country, if lights blink, like America, they say America never sleeps because lights not they ever blink now. Yeah. So we don't see all that in them. Now, in a nutshell, before you go, I just want to put this question to you, because now the main question that way with the answer. Do you think Julius Madabio is electable in 2023 election? If yes, how? And give a detailed explanation why she nutshell. And if no, give a nutshell explanation why she did try for exit way.
How many minutes do I have?
Sure.
How many minutes do I have?
No, it's up to you. Have 4 minutes to clear the air. Do you think?
All right.
Because
So
at the time for respectful time, do you think President Julius Madabio is electable in 2023 election? If yes, give us an overview of it. If no, give us an overview with substantive points.
All right. So we don't talk about quite a lot of issues. We've talked about, corruption. We now President Bio, one of in manifesto point. We don't talk about free quality education. I call it free education. We're now one of President Bio manifestos. We don't talk about the day-to-day. We don't talk about power. Power when a huge issue in terms of driving the economy forward and driving the nation forward. So there's quite key issues that we don't talk about. But for me, can really provide me answer. We don't talk about everybody. I don't provide me views. Everybody don't provide me views. But I want to add one last thing there before I say what I say, because I know other people can be up later. The last thing I want to say is that the opposition, the position of the opposition, and they determine whether President Bio get for win or not. We don't talk about the manifesto as the reason how people can get a vote, but people can get for also give a look at that. What are they inside this race? Are they worth voting for over President Bio? Now, the main other opposition, the main opposition within this race, now the APC. When I look at the APC, I see chaos. When I look at the APC, I see tribalism. When I look at the APC, I see egoism. When I look at the APC, the current state, please. When I look at the current state of APC, I see one man, power drunk one man, taking control, controlling people away, Bubonam. I see one man taking control over a whole political party to an extent that he doesn't care about what anybody else thinks. It's all about what he wants, his ego, his pride, and what he wants to satisfy, his conscience and everything. Nothing but his own personal interest. You understand? In that state of affairs, Usa is able to get a national delegate conference where one man, they blame everybody else at the party but himself. The leader of the party blamed everybody else and vindicated himself. He's the only one that can save the party. You understand? This trajectory where APC don't set so, now a trajectory where they lead to failure. You understand? And I'm saying this out of all sincerity, out of all honesty, to be very honest and frank with you. I'm not supporting anybody. I'm saying the truth. So in this kind of, if President Bio in the behave so, President Bio is the leader of SLPP right now. You imagine President Bio call a convention and blame everybody. He called Prince Harding, he called all man with it. You know, the people are responsible for the problem. All the problem will get now SLPP, now the people are responsible. You as a leader, you don't blame everybody. What about yourself? You take no responsibility. So I want to make we look at the current state of affairs in the APC for determine. Yes, Sierra Leone get hardship, prices they don't go up and everything, but let's look at the current state of affairs in APC for determine the way forward. Now, to the point of President Bio in whether is eligible for go ahead or not, I want to make we also look at the fact that President Bio in Information and Communication Department, the Strategic Communication Department, and don't feel woefully for really present things to Sierra Leoneans. Let me tell you this, out of all honesty, and I know Brother Imran will agree, and Mr. Koroma will agree, is that prices have gone up everywhere in the world. Because of the pandemic, a lot of things that don't change. The same thing will be happen now. Ebola epidemic will be happen in Africa. West Africa, where things then change, prices then go up. Now, the government has not been able to explain that to Sierra Leoneans so that they will understand. Instead, they've been reacting to propaganda, they've been reacting to opposition malignment. Then if we explain that to Sierra Leoneans, let Sierra Leone understand how the global pandemic, they affect the global economy, not only Sierra Leone. And if the global economy is affected, is impacted, so is Sierra Leone economy impacted. How is that happening? We need to explain that to a common man of village to make you understand. The government has failed to do that, so that's a disadvantage. But from where I am sitting as an analyst, as a very honest person, being honest with myself, from where I am sitting, I believe, say, President Bio get the upper hand at this point. I believe, say, get the upper hand because of those reasons. Because, yeah, you look at the free education. I will not call it free quality. I'll call it free education. No matter how you look at it. The post within a village, they pay school fees again. They don't care how you explain it. They are not paying school fees. That's what's important to them. You understand? Even if they pay for uniform, they are not paying for school fees. You understand? Even if they not get new school, they not get new teachers, but they not say they pay school fees. That's all that is important to them. So I think that don't resonate with the people. Number two, President Bio don't set a trend in terms of the fight against corruption. Something where the predecessor is afraid for do. Against informer and other predecessor when Dr. Ahmed Tijan-Kaba is afraid for investigate them. You understand? Ahmed Tijan-Kaba where they give billions and billions of loans. Then IMF wipe out with debt completely because of the war. They give so many money for rebuild Sierra Leone. Where Anes by Kuroma come, he said the religious people they don't talk to us. They don't go dig hole. They don't go dig inside Ahmed Tijan-Kaba in history. Let left hands, let problem not come. So President Bio has said he's not going to do that. Religious leaders did approach President Bio. They said, please, pa, no go dig. Do what you do. President Bio said, no, let's set a trend. You understand? So I give kudos to President Bio for that. Even though in your government, they get corruption allegation, they get corruption issues then where they not address. And I believe, say, just for the fact that I don't set a tone, any other government will come, any other president will succeed them. They get for also investigate. And President Bio don't talk and say, in no say we left government, they get for investigate them. He said that, and I'm being very honest. So if the man knows that he's going to be investigated, but yet he's investigating his predecessors, then you can assume that he's trying to do something that he knows that when he's checked and balanced, he will not be held culprit. So those are the things. In terms of energy, I see that the blackout problem, the energy problem is still a continuum in Sierra Leone. It is something that when Dr. Anes by Kroma took over Sierra Leone, I mean, the darkest country on earth. You understand? How do you know that when you're going to have people in a space, you're able to see the earth. You're able to see which country is the darkest on earth. So Sierra Leone was the darkest country on earth when Anes by Kroma took over. Anes by Kroma then set the tone for electricity supply in Sierra Leone. And now President Bio they continue that to do. The power boats where President Bio and government may don't criticize, and they still and then they use today. So the power really hasn't improved in terms of electricity supply. There has not been any improvement in my views. I think that is a continuation. It hasn't dropped, but it hasn't improved either. So those are the things people are going to measure President Bio on the prices of commodities, rice, particular cement, building materials and stuff like that. So they're going to be measured by it. But the trajectory APC they head right now, if they continue that trajectory day, for me current assessment, who's at map right now, given what I know, President Bio get leverage over APC.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Brother P. Thomas. Like what you've been saying, the time where you get with we, it unlimited. I want to give you final word so we family then wise me two brothers and with me. We go finalize the discussion where we go just get one more topic for discuss about, meaning asking certain questions.
Well, I want to say thank you to you, Madam Elizabeth. Thank you so very much for having me. I want to say thank you to the other two guests. My brother, Imran Toure, is my brother. I love him very much, and I have a lot of respect for him. It's been a pleasure meeting you, my brother Pearl Koroma as well. Thank you so much for being part of it and sharing views. I want to say thank you to the viewers and listeners and comments. I will go through the comments when time permits tonight and then response to those that I think is worth responding to. While we all keep steadfast and focus on Sierra Leone, the interest of Sierra Leone should supersede everything else. We did at this program for share ideas and map a way forward for make we country progress. We are not here for undermine or malign anyone. We are here to talk on the issues. And when I come on programs like this, I come with my honest heart on to really speak on issues as frank and honest and sincere as I possibly can. And not we all are politicians. Some of us are advocates. And when we decide for change that advocate's heart and go into politics, it will not be hidden. It will be point blank, clear. If I'm red, I'll be red as to the core. If I'm green, I'll be green to the core. So at this stage, I want to say thank you to all for listening. I thank you for being a part of this program, and I hope that the rest of the program goes well. God bless.
All right, thank you so much, brother. Why see they drop out? So, brother Imran.
The love is mutual, my brother.
All right, thank you so much, brother Thomas. Thank you very, very much. All right, now
you're welcome. Yeah.
Sierra Leoneans, as soon as see, brother, you can okay. Sierra Leoneans, as soon as can see, we almost there for exit. Brother Thomas been giving a time frame on our see a they go now working place. This country, nobody not get for you get for fend and for yourself. Wise with the help for support with brothers and sisters the back home. Now we get brother Imran. We see where you brought away you just show love to. It give you a tailor down couple things then. The trajectory.
But I think you should come to me now.
No, I'm coming. Let me.
The two of them spoke about this electricity.
Let me quickly learn to brother. He wants to eat really good. Okay. So brother Imran, we see where we brother don't get a lot of trajectory about the APC party, how one person they did that. And we get a big question here. Is President Bio electable in 2023? It don't give a rundown of why. In field say the man has no contest, and definitely according to what he say. But you don't see your party. Do you see your party as APC coming to power or being a contender to President Bio?
You know, my brother says on 2-3 things them where I agree with, then he say many things then where I disagree with. Because now the history of Sierra Leone, APC has never shown any propensity for tribalism. APC not ever do affirmative action for suit one particular person. We see where SLPP take power 2018, then conduct how they sack people with northern names and all that. But we are not here to talk much about that. We are here to talk about the electability of the president, the sitting president. What me go say about that? We can say all kinds in gray, blue, yellow, white. Yes, we want. Me not in Sierra Leone. Yeah, Peter must not in Sierra Leone. My dear brother not in Sierra Leone. At the end of the day, the people are in Sierra Leone. Now then they feel the pinch. Now then they go to market, they know what's in the sea. Now then they go carry them picking and go to school, whether it's free or not free, then go tell we. Because then they understand the things them where they happen right under their nose. They're not asleep and neither they not get crossy eye. You know? Then say now Uda wear shoes, now you know outside the shoes they burn them. Now then they feel everything. Whatever we say now, yeah, we can say them. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is when the chips is down in the frying pan, you know, now completely different question.
Okay.
So with people
you have not answered this question.
I'm coming there.
Okay.
I'm coming there.
Go ahead.
You know, so at the end of the day, me a Democrat. You know, what I say is my opinion. At the end of the day, the people then get for make their own opinion. They get for decide who then go vote for. But me just they say to them, make them wake up and smell the coffee. It is not all that glitters is gold. Because we get people them. Because I can always tell people them. We problem na salon not to the illiterate people them. Now the educated class. And waiting at the most dangerous thing in our country. Or way dangerous in the world. Now where you get Munku people and we book, then dangerous parts uneducated people. And we get them kind of in Sierra Leone 2 for penny. So and now they make boku noise and alahala. But at the end of the day, the people them, me and a person we believe in democracy. So I'm a Democrat. So I believe say no matter what I say or what I believe in, at the end of the day, now the people then go make the decision. Now then go vote for who are suited for them.
Do you see APC contending with President Bio in 2023? Looking at the fact that
well, when you look at the selective justice where they go, we see how you get people them where they do Bluetooth, remote control, proxy war with APC, the justice system itself, not a work how we supposed to work, the police compromise, everything else, now the country compromise. Okay. Yeah, there are difficulties, but APC don't always come through at the end. Now make we always they sing with song, victory will come. But I want to say this to SLPP. The devil, the person where you know, and Fulama where you know they call and cut up. You see, APC na one party where come through activism. You can never write them out. APC beat SLPP when they were barely 3 years old. Young party, it beats them 67. So it not go surprise me. Okay. It not go be shocking to me. APC go be the center forward. We go score the goal at the 98th minute. And then go do them with style. And right now, what's happen when Adugu, we know for say SLPP, the new habit now for rig elections. Now we keep we eyes closed on them, like how Richard Conte and Kefala Mara focus on them and deny them waiting them the try for do. Okay, so we watch them.
Make a can out to you. We brought up before he go, he make a quick claim where being the SLPP party's representative on this debate. I want to make you just make this point clear. Do you agree to the fact that the strategic information wing of the Sierra Leone People's Party needs to do more, looking at the fact that prices are going higher, everything is going, which is not the fault of the government though, but it's a world stage problem. You believe, say, the strategic wing need for do more for educate with people then?
I quite agree with you that the strategic communications unit need for do more. We need for continue for get to the masses, for actually educate them. But governance, not just President Bio and the SLPP. We brothers and sisters all on as Sierra Leoneans, we supposed to be honest and sincere to our country. We supposed to be very, very patriotic for lost Sierra Leone for be first on our agenda. All the challenges what we face today, my brother, Mr. Ture, you know, my brother we don't just left, especially with the economy highlights and to we. You know, but Mr. Ture and the other brothers then totally misconstrue that. Then they found something different to people them back home. They actually misinforming our people back home. They're not giving them the right information. And like Mr. Ture and my friend now, when we talk about electricity, when they talk about vandalism, he try for skew that. We make I really feel bad because he's also a friend. I expect him to appeal to the conscience of Sierra Leoneans. That what President Bio is doing is not for President Bio himself. It is for us, the people of Sierra Leone. So now we need to protect what we get. As a patriot, I expect him to just do that. Appeal to the conscience of Sierra Leoneans that we not for destroy what we get at this particular point in time because we are very poor people. We just try to come up. I will tell God, thank you all, that honestly that when President Bio will determine for make sure that he give back to the people what they want. So I expect Mr. Ture for actually join the Sierra Leone People's Party. You know, there is unity in diversity. It belongs to the APC, but join Sierra Leone People's Party for all make Sierra Leone our country. Of course, 2023 is a foregone conclusion. Today, with the debt crisis, with the economy, but President Bio don't spend $60 million for the Thermal Bomb project. In the next 6 months or 1 year, we'll go for it. Our country. There's another project in Port Local District where they have about $54 million for plant rice. In the next 6 months or 1 year, we'll go food for each of the country. And President Bio make a mandatory to all in other political actors, in team members, that everybody for get involved into agriculture. We're not going to expect somebody for come outside for come feed we. We have the arable land. Today, most of the government ministers, they got big farms, like the current finance minister. They got eco products. The rice where they produce at Kenema district, that they sell on Sierra Leone. I wish the outgoing government actually focus and start something like that. But all not bad. President Bio said with the research priorities in Sierra Leone, and it does show you the commitment that it's ready for do this. You check out the tourism sector, Madam Memuna to Pratt, the innovations, the trajectory you don't take for the tourism sector. Had it been for COVID, Sierra Leone would not be a different place by now. The number of business people who want to invest in Sierra Leone, but because of the COVID, because of the business climate, President Bio don't create. In the next 6 months or 1 year, we probably say Sierra Leone is a different place. And they appeal to Mr. Ture. We don't want distraction. We all are the same people. It is not about tribe. It is not about region. It should be Sierra Leone. That should be the focus. And I tell you one more thing. Thomas Koroma, when Anas Koroma is small brother. Now he be the chief of Bumuna Kebuze in 2007, who was arrested and taken to court before Anas won the election. When President Koroma won elections, he threw the case out of court. It is there. Sierra Leoneans know about it. Thomas Koroma. Yeah, well. Now they don't go send that Python Kebuze from Bumuna na Guinea. They arrest in driver. And it's clear. They see the evidence. But once Anas Koroma won that election, he threw that case out of court. I wish if I don't set that example for him brother, that they're not supposed to thief government property. But he did that. It's really you. They threw the case out of court.
Okay.
I assure you.
That is a very good one. Sierra Leoneans, with almost 2 hours in this program, we get for try for exit. It was a very good and heated debate. We see Brother Imran and Brother Pe went head to head trying to express their views, which was clearly moderated and, peacefully everybody get for, give in view stand. Like I say, we there for be a whistleblower for Sierra Leoneans then. Bring out the point and let them know. Say, we not there for Vuvuzela just because we want for Vuvuzela, but at the same time, we also want for let them know waiting they go on at the government and waiting at the opposition's their role. The opposition, Mr. Umra, I'll give you this last question, why would they go? With all this way the presidents they do, the opposition, you feel say the opposition, they work very hard for let them really put the government on in tow?
Well, I feel to say, to be honest, I feel to say the opposition can do more. But, in some cases, then their hands then tied because we see the saga will take place in a parliament where the government not gets no right for get the speaker of the house because they not get the majority. We see how they go push and down the throat of them people and they. We see how they consistently they claim say the opposition for Bimumu and opposition are then duty for hold the government to account. Now then the alternative government. Anytime where the country gets coupled, now any civilized country, even areas of budget, the opposition they get an alternative budget. But where you do anything where opposition work, then they talk for say you na enemy of the country or you did distract the government. APC not they give them chance for waiting. So it's a very difficult one. On the one hand, they want for let we oppose. On the other hand, they're not a give the freer hand for oppose. Like why I me brother they talk say and people have for go farm upline. A beautiful idea. People have for go farm upline. But when they create the environment for me then go farm, when they give them the incentive for let them go for go farm, not for just tell people and say go farm. Now when I get for give them the materials, the incentive, the support for me them do them. But minister they don't go do farm. Minister they can do farm, that's fine, but that's not enough to push the country into farming. Okay. When they talk to you, so me daddy na a farmer, me daddy na agriculturist, and when the government take power. Who say me know for say they're not serious about agriculture, then say then they go make rest farm na Tomabum. Everybody know for say rest na the north, na they grow better because the north na grass field, not a forest area, and rest na grass. And everybody know say na the north they know for be wala. That is where rest grow better. But then but
remember when they say they get the Tomabum rice projects, right?
But
yeah, that, right?
Me daddy work as a Tomabum.
Okay,
I grew up in those places.
Why the contradiction now? Why the contradiction?
But when me brother can talk say after all the mistake they don't do, them miscalculation, me for go join SLPP that we vote.
All right, Sierra Leone, it has been a good time staying with you guys. And, we tell we plenty. Thank you. We said we don't do with we. This now just follow we sensitize with Sierra Leoneans. There's not to any war with the car you see with brothers there how they smile, we all they smile. We already try for sensitize with Salon farm with them because if we there we they try for bring information to una, that will also help una. Not only way we they send money to una, but we information also they give go a long way. Like where Brother Pell, they say, in one let Brother Imran say and debunk the one where they cut the cable there, because Brother Imran, they send something to Sierra Leoneans there. You know, either 5 or 6 or 10 households and rely on Brother Imran. So, Brother Pell, they really appeal to we brother for making say a word we're able for stop people the way they cut cable there. And
nobody know they support vandalism. Nobody know they support vandalism.
Correct.
But I feel to say, me own opinion, I make them clear, say, I feel to say that theft. Then they thief them cable. They not today it begin. It don't begin from Bumbuna. It don't begin from APC term. When maybe they go school, then try for amalgamate electricity between Rokupur and Cambia. For maybe turn them, both get the power source from the same source. People and thief all the cable them. It is not new. And I find I'm really worrisome when people they only talk about it now. Nothing where don't they happen.
Yeah, but it's wrong, Mr. Ture.
Also a new phenomenon.
Ongoing ram, it be not happen, but we need to stop that now.
As a people, that's
what I'm saying. As a people,
I agree with you.
You know,
brother Imran,
you know,
I want to let you round up now. Give you final statement with Sierra Leoneans. Then why we they try for exit? We are almost 4 minutes away from the 2 hours set for this program.
Well, me family them as in all king we all come now, not so because we hate we country, but because we all love Sierra Leone. And we all get that patriotic tendency. We all want to make the country better. But the problem now how? Now that side we all the dilly when we get we half chamot. But until we know, family taking Ben, you know they broke.
Yeah.
But as we all day, as a family, where a family unites, then they eat from the same pan. Yeah. Even though me and Brother Pell, they get we Lily Chamot, we still love each other, and we still believe say there is hope.
Exactly.
And that hope they not to the leader they get for Duam. Now we get for put pressure upon them. Say
thank you.
When we put you in a place,
thank you.
For let you can make the place, do as you are supposed to do. Because we put with vested interest in Una. Una not to the boss, now we not the boss. But successive governments them when they come, then they forget that. They can't do what they want for do. I want for tell me people and say, make them take charge, now then they're the driving seats, because it is their country. And let we forget about tribalism, let we forget about sectionalism, partisanship, let we focus on the constitution and the flag of the country. Because any country, we come together, we work together, we are stronger. And at the beg with politicians them, even the one way they now, they don't fail that side. We not get a national agenda. Make we try put a national agenda. We're not to tribal agenda. We're not to sectional agenda. But a national agenda for make everybody come. Bring beef, bring fish, bring yabas, bring ogiri. For let cook something palatable for we country. Where we all go sit down, we eat, we say well done. And bise kaka yabodesia. I tell you now all thank you. And yema kane no kopai ibotorno nasa Sierra Leoneans. Sabatiki ye more the ones can't of us. I love una all and I love this program. And the first time this I come here and I feel really shaken. But Brother Pell once he cleans me, I not grilla. I love you all the same.
All right.
Thank you.
Brother Imran, Sierra Leoneans, Brother Imran just give we in last word. Now we go to Brother Pell while we exit the show. Brother Pell, give we your last word and tell us with it.
Thank you very much, my sister. I appeal to people that we don't watch with today. Me, Brother Imran, and Mr. Thomas. The way how debates go. And they beg to make it spill over to una back home. That we can be divided on policies, but we don't want people. Please, President Biya don't continue for appeal till we say let we get peace. And thankfully, it don't be successful for make the country very stable. It don't create stability for we in the country. All what we need now progress. And when I look at what the President Biya promised the people of Sierra Leone, not to what other man that they say because there is a lot of misinformation coming over, will not to be true. People that target for just win elections, and it's all about that. What he promised the people that you don't want, that's what I say all the time. And I appeal to Mr. Imran Ture, make it go back whether President Biya in deliverables, achieve them. What he tell we say he do. And I strongly believe President Bio promised free quality education. I don't know for we Sierra Leone. He said it will improve on electricity as it is over 7 districts and they about forget electricity. They don't count with the transformer, they don't count with the cables, they don't count with the poles. Then they work on that right across the country. Freetown too. Then they try to work on that for make life sustainable. Now Freetown, we're not going to depend on the car power ship when my brother they talk about. We're not going to industrialize and make based on that energy than they. We need sustainable energy. The youth sector, make a look at what the young minister of youth don't do for young men in Sierra Leone. There are youth farms right across this country. Not that fake youth farm, that APC youth farm. Where Biobela got to now be empty hole in waste. And the other one cry for we Sierra Leoneans during the commission of inquiry. We say how they go kill people and I do go for youth farm. But today, all chiefdoms across this country, they got youth farm there. Now, President Bio, a regime, now we see that one day for make sure we get food sufficiency. Nobody never for done for we. Now we say it. The young man then, the car wash project, when the ministry don't carry it for we. It plenty when the government don't carry it for we. Me family them, we not believe in President Bio. We not continue for work with President Bio. We not continue for support President Bio. President Bio go make this country like how we want her. We go start the pace, but now we go for beyond the support. Opposition are they beg, not to just election and come to power. We not follow the principle of democracy. President Bio not go run the country without tuna. President Bio is a very peaceful person. And they ask everybody for join them. We won elections we are done in 2018. Well, for them, forget about elections, I will concentrate on the delivery of what President Bio promised the people of Sierra Leone. And he has done 85% of that in just 3.5 years. He said, I will judge him after in term. He's very honest. He's sincere. He constitutes a commission of inquiry. He don't tell me back, say, where he self left, let them left for put commission of inquiry on him. What a kind of leader he is. And they beg on people of Sierra Leone. When I give President Bio another time, it will make the place a better place for we all. And for us, when they're not overseas, President Bio they call now and they invite all of us to make people participate in the political transformation of a country. Now, an open country that one day, we're not able to talk about the law reforms. Yes, a president, when I'm come, it don't abolish the death penalty. But that never ever happen in our history. Okay? It can't agree with free media. You know, the seditious libel law. That never ever happen in our country. In the last and the Scroma ABC regime, the
SLPP put them review. APC put them.
Okay, fine. No, okay. In the last APC government, we see what happened in our country. And the Beguna, we family them. Let me compare the two governments. Anti-corruption, 3 years fight of anti-corruption compared to 11 years fight of anti-corruption. My brother when I go and mention just now about the economic downturn in the whole world. Now, yeah, in America, I see people that it's not in line for food. America. Now, with the America fair price go up because the whole economy, the economy of the whole world, it gets crisis because of the pandemic. So we're not going to just send a president be a cause of. And in fact, and as Roman government left the country, the economy in austerity. We're not able to reach the Lemia and start to debate on that. When they said the country then austerity, it broke. You not got money, you not got nothing.
Austerity no mean broke. Austerity no mean broke.
Okay, sir. Okay, Mr. Turo.
It doesn't mean broke.
Okay, sir. We'll get to that. But I'm sure
it means that the economy gets some constraints. That's how you learn economics. That's how you learn economics. And the other thing I want to say to you before they go, if you get for do a car wash, you get for get open pump. You not get pump water, you say car wash. How that they go happen?
No, they make no of what we get. We get for rice. We get for go over that. We have to start.
Ulanga go. How you go get car wash? You not get pump water.
No, we get. We the manage what we get. No, Mr. Ture, it not gonna come in 3 years' time. The pump water not gonna come right across the country in 3 years' time. You know.
No,
it's no lie, bro. No, it's no lie.
Gentlemen, we
it's
have
happening.
to go. Gentlemen,
now you go to Freetown. Mr. Ture, go to Freetown and see. Go to Sierra Leone and see for yourself.
Calm down, my brother.
Take it they have.
All right. Well,
I'm impressed with my leader. I'm impressed with my president.
As una don't see, it be a very good one. You know, this not the kind of atmosphere we try for create. We go disagree for agree. We go agree for disagree. We need for come together for work as one. We not get no other Sierra Leone. Now only one salon we get. See where we brother Imra, he expressed in dissatisfaction about things that we know they go on well at the party. the Sierra Leone People's Party. We also see Brother Thomas. He expressed in goodwill about things that where President Bio don't do. He talk about the free quality education. He talk about the energy sector, and he also show in dismay about the people that will go cut transform an corner where in a indigene of that place. We tell una plenty thank you. Brother Perkan on the side of the SLPP, he talked eloquently and he expressed the need, say, President Bio deserve a second term. And the question here reads, does he deserve a second term? Is he electable? And una say don't see from the comments and where they come, the text messages where they come. Now few gets, a 0. But 80% of all the text message and the comments and we can, they give kudos to President for what he don't do. Now we hand them together. This president has done what other presidents never did. This president is striving for do waiting the world stage go mark we on. We tell una plenty thank you. Nobody can do this more than you all. Now we all need for put hands together. Too many hands make lights work light. So when we all put we hands then together, the work will be lighter for us. Sierra Leone will be a better place for we. We were then at the diaspora. We no say we get word or we get sent to we people them. Please, Lord, they send we word them to them. Lord, with the advice and let them stop for poor cable. Let them stop for do bad thing. We know say the world stage right now, everything. So man go say things difficult. Lord, we talk to the Makituma there, but it's all over. It is all over the world stage. Things difficult. We see the IMF, the Africa IMF page, na Twitter, then tweet them. Then this morning, then show say things difficult. We also see the WHO head. It tweet them. It say everything don't look difficult right now, but due to the pandemic, not to only Sierra Leone. For sake of that, I tell una plenty thank you. It has been a lovely one being with you all. Lord, we continue for stay together. We now continue for stay glued to this unity broadcasting. Like I say, we there for tell we now waiting good for Sierra Leoneans. We not there for sugar coats. Anything where we now feel say it good for let Sierra Leoneans then yeri unity broadcasting the couch and tuna. I tell una plenty thank you. Me na be una host and presenter Elizabeth Kefwe Fabe Neil Gembe. For sake of that, on behalf of Unity Broadcasting team, I tell una plenty thank you. Una allow stay tuned and continue for stay together. Una thank you.
Thank you, Lord Boss Ibrahim.
Yeah.
I mean, Boss Imran.
Ramule una tata.
Here. So,
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, my brother.
I will call you.